Good morning, everyone. For today's discussion, we will be starting our topic 2, lesson 1. We will be discussing the population, dynamics, and economic welfare, as well as aging populations and overpopulation. We're going to discuss something very basic but actually very important sa everyday life. Now, when you hear the word population, sa inyong mahuna-hunaan first? I know for sure some of you will respond people, number of people, families, barangay, country. No, population simply refers to the number of people living in a particular area at a particular time. But our discussion today is not simply asking you how many people are there. We are going to ask an important question in which it's very relevant to our country's economy, like what happens to a country's economy when its population changes. Let's start here by asking, now, imagine two countries. Yan. So here, we have country A and country B. Both have populations, but their population structures are very different. As stated in the presentation, country A has a large working age population, many young people entering the workforce, expanding cities, increasing demand for schools and jobs. Meaning, daghan sila og mga, batanon, young people, daghang potential workers, daghang potential consumers, and daghang future professionals. Imagine a company, like suppose you have 100 positions available and you have a 500 young and educated applicants. And that's potentially good for an economy because there is a large pool of workers, but there's a catch. Are there enough jobs? If there are not, then a large young population can also create unemployment, underemployment, and for sure, competition for jobs, which led us to social pressure. For country B, another situation, it has low birth rates, increasing elderly population, smaller workforce, and greater demand for healthcare and social protection. Ibig sabihin, mas gagmay ang babies nga gipanganak, mas daghan ang mga tigulang, and eventually, mas daghan ang working age population. No? Example, now think of a family. Suppose there are two working adults and four elderly family members who need support. Who provides the income? Diba? The two working adults. They may have to support food, medicine, utilities, healthcare, and other basic necessities. Now imagine that this situation at the national level. That is why population structure matters. So the question we have here is, having a population, a large population, an advantage or disadvantage? Asa man, better ba? Mas dakag population? The answer, either. A large population can mean large workforce, large consumer market, more potential taxpayers, and more human capital. However, the cons, we have pressure on food, housing shortages, education demand, healthcare demand, employment pressure, and natural resource pressure. Now, let's define the two. Now, there are two important terms, population and population dynamics. Example, no? Population. When we say population, it means the number of people living in a particular geographical area at a given time. Example, if we ask, what is the population of Davao City and how many people live there? Class, birth, population increases when people are born. No? A barangay has 10,000 people, then 200 babies are born. So assuming nothing else changes, that means the population increases. Another, death. Population decreases when people die. So birth adds people, death removes people. No, however, based on observation, mas daghan ang gipanganak kaysa sa mga nangamatay. Another is migration. This is one of the very important term. When we say migration, it means people move from one place to another. No? And there are two important direction. Ang immigration, kanang IMM na immigration, people enter a place. Example, no? Ikaw ni adto og US, you are an immigrants there, kamo man you enter a place. Ang emigration kang letter E, then migration, people leave a place. Now, example, no? There are 100 people moving in, and that's 100 immigrants. And 40 people moving out, and that's 40 emigrants. And that creates a net increase of 60 people from migration. Now, let's discuss population dynamics. When we see population dynamics, it refers to the size, to the structure, distribution, composition over time. No? Imagine itong klase karon. There are 40 students. No? 40 mo first year mo 40. No, 3 years later, maybe some have graduated, maybe some of you will transfer, and new students entered, or some students move away. The number, composition, and structure change, and that dynamics. Meaning, population is not static. When we say not static, no, it changes continuously. Again, the important components of this presentation: population growth, fertility, mortality, migration, age structure, population density, geographic distribution, and urbanization. And these are the things we need to examine if we want to understand how population affects societies. The next presentation we have here, let's discuss the major components of population dynamics. Itong apat na to, very important dynamics, the components. First, let's discuss population growth. Ano man ang population growth? No, it's very obvious. There is a word growth. Tubo, increases. No? Population increases when? Kanos aman mo tubo? Pag of course, birth rates are high. Pag dahagi pang anak. Death rates decline. Pag daghan, gamay ra ang nangamatay. Life expectancy rises means mas dugay mamatay ang tao. And then immigration exceeds emigration. Yan, mas daghan ang nisulod sa kalugar kaysa ng hawa, no? Imagine, no, imagine a city or place. Last year, 1,000 ang birth rates and 500 ang death. And more people move in than move out. Mas daghan ang nisulod kaysa ni hawa. The population grows. That's population growth. Next is fertility. The lesson uses the total fertility rate, or the TFR. TFR refers to the average number of children a woman has has over her productivity years. No? Why is fertility important? Because if many families have many children, the young population becomes larger. But if fertility becomes very low, the future workforce may become smaller. No? Imagine a community, there are 100 couples. If most couples have many children, 20 years later, you have many young adults entering the workforce. No? Example, 100 ka couples, unya, kaning 100 ka couples class na ani tagpito ka anak, expect na 700. Na 700 ka buok nga adults, no? Kay times 7 good, di ba? Next, no? You have many adults, but most if couples have only one child or no children, 20 years later, gamay ra. Okay, sure, isa lang or say, way anak, no, gamay ra ang tubo. Next. Let's proceed to mortality. Usa ba mortality? Ang mortality, it refers to the death within a population. Death, ha? ang fertility class, kaya ang ano ni siya, no? The measured by TFR. While the mortality, it refers to the death within population. It is influenced by healthcare, nutrition, disease, sanitation, and living conditions, no? Example, kung natin doon ka community, ang community A na ay clean water, hospitals, vaccination, good nutrition. While ang community B, unsafe ang water, poor sanitation, limited healthcare, kisa man nga community ang better mo survive. Of course, community A, because again, community A has clean water, hospitals, vaccinations, good nutrition. And when healthcare improves, people tend to live longer. And that sounds purely positive. But remember, longer life expectancy can also contribute to an aging population. So one improvement can create another demographic change. No? Kung okay lang atong healthcare dito sa Pilipinas, gamay rin mga matay. Lastly, migration, no? When we say migration, when people move from one place to another, they change the population of both places. Example, no? You are a young Filipino moves from a rural province to Metro Manila for work. That's a common na probinsyana ka niya, nagtrabaho ka sa Manila. What happened? The origin community loses one working age person and Metro Manila gains one working age person. No? Now imagine millions of people doing similar movements. You get urbanization, population concentration, and changing workforce distribution. Now, in the context of maritime, a Filipino seafarers are also part of the labor mobility because a Filipino leaves the Philippines for employment on board in an international vessel. The work is physically outside the country for employment, but continues to have an economic connection with the Philippines, including the income and remittances. So here, migration and labor mobility have economic effects. Next, population density and distribution. Now, there is a formula as being stated in the presentation. No? Population density is the total population divided by land area. Baga pa, how many people are living within a certain amount of land. Example, classroom A, 20 students. Classroom B, 60 students. Both classrooms have the same size, which has greater population density. Again ha, ang A 20 lang, ang B 60. Of course, the classroom that has greater population density is B. Again, because more people are occupying the same space. Now, high density areas. No? When we say high density areas, especially cities that can provide large labor pools, large consumer markets, but they can also experience traffic congestion, housing shortages, and pollution. Na example in Manila, no? Kagamay ra sa Manila class, gamay kay ang Manila class, no? Mas dako pang Davao City kaysa Metro Manila. No? Millions of people are concentrated in a relatively limited urban space. Kasi may tabo, traffic. Expensive housing. Yes, mahal ang mga renta, mahal ang pabahay dito. Crowded transportation. High demand for services. But not economic advantage because dahag kumpanya, many workers, many consumers, many businesses. So again, high population density has both benefits and costs. Now, how about low density areas? Low density areas have more land per person. It sounds good, no? Low density. But there's a problem, no? Providing services can become expensive. Imagine, imagine a municipality has only few families spread across huge mountainous area. The government still needs to provide roads, schools, healthcare, electricity, communication because the population is scattered. So serving everyone can be expensive. And that is why papasok dito yung population distribution, no? Population distribution asks where do people live? People tend to concentrate where there are. What are these opportunities? Employment. Of course, another pag naitubig, agricultural land, transportation, education, and healthcare. No? Now, in this lesson, we have mga large population concentration. So ito nga mga lugar, sir. Metro Manila, no? Ang population dito, kataghag tao dito. Central Luzon, Calabarzon, Cebu, and even Davao. Why? Because these areas have a stronger concentrations of jobs, businesses, education, healthcare, transportation, economic opportunities. No? Sa Davao, kadahag tao na sa Davao. Ah? So when people move toward places with more opportunities, some areas become more crowded and other areas may lose population that can create uneven development. Now, let's discuss population and economic welfare. No? An important topic. What is economic welfare? No, it refers to the economic well-being, quality of life of individuals and communities. It includes income, employment, healthcare, education, housing, food security, basic services or necessities, and standard of living. Now, economic welfare asks, how well are people actually living? It is not just asking you how much does the country have, but a country may have economic growth, but if many people don't have access to healthcare, education, housing, or decent employment, then we need to ask whether economic welfare is improving for people. There are two-way relationship. Population affects economic development, but economic development also affects population. Population affects labor supply. Na example, more working age people can mean a larger potential workforce. Example, production and income. Worker produce goods and services. Government revenue. More incoming activity can generate taxes. Public services. Population size and structure affect demand for schools, hospitals, housing, and other services. No? Then economic development affects population. Improved economic development can lead to asa man siya padulong. Una, better healthcare. Kaduha, better education. Pangatlo, lower mortality. The next is changes in fertility. Now, and that lead to changes in population structure. Imagine a country becomes wealthier, di dato, no? People have better education, people have better healthcare, better access to contraception, better employment opportunities, but families may choose to have a fewer children. At the same time, people live longer. So the population becomes older. And that's an example of economic development can change population dynamics. Next is human capital. Now, human capital includes knowledge, skills, education, health, and experience. People are not simply numbers. Imagine there are two countries, both have 10 million people. Country A, most people have access to quality education and healthcare, while country B, many people have limited education, poor health, and few job opportunities. The same population size, di ba? Both have 10 million, pero different economic potential. That means population becomes an economic advantage when people are developed as human capital. Next, the demographic dividend. Yeah. Demographic dividend, no? The demographic dividend refers to the population economic benefits that may arise when the working age population becomes relatively large compared with dependent age groups. Example, no? Sa iyong pamilya, you have 5 working adults and only 2 dependents. There are many people earning income compared with the number of people needing support. And that creates an opportunity for greater savings and investment. What if baliktad? Duha lang ang nitrabaho, 5 ang nagsalig, no? Mas heavy ang responsibility sa workers. That's why in a family, no, it would be better that all of you in a family you are working because there is many people earning income and at the same time kung kamo tanan trabaho, that means less ang need ang nanginahanglan support, no? Kaysa naman nga kamo sa iyong pamilya, pito mo ka buok, nya isa ra ka buok ang nitrabaho, and that's a very heavy responsibility for that one worker. Now, a population includes dependence ratio, no? Dependence. children and older adults, and working age population. People generally in the working age group. A higher dependency ratio means there are relatively more dependents compared with working age people. Just like what an example kanina no, sa inyong balay. Imong papa ga work, imong mama ga work, they support three children. One then isa pod ka tiguang. No, uno mo kabuk sa inyong balay. Niduha rin ni trabaho, magpapa lang. Ang upat wala nagsalig. Only two are earning, and that is high dependency burden. That's why you should be thankful with your parents no nga gipaskwela mo because your parents wanted that you will finish your studies no because in order for you to help yourselves not to depend from them anymore especially when you're working. And of course, if your parents are not working, then they can depend you. And mabito no, ang goal sa parents kapag eskwelahan ng mga anak because they wanted that all of their children no maka-work. Para man lang na at pag-abot sa panahon, gamay na lang ang dependence sila. Demographic dividend is not automatic, no? Having many working age people doesn't automatically create economic growth because people need education, healthcare, skills, jobs, infrastructure, good governance, and supportive economic policies. Example, no, there are 20 million young adults, pero 5 lang kabuk ang available na jobs. Is that automatically demographic dividend? The answer is no. However, it creates unemployment, underemployment, migration, social pressure. Same ra gud na class no karon sa labor force sa maritime. Nadaghan kaayo mga maritime graduates. Pero gamay ra kaayo ang mga available nga mga shipping companies. And it creates underemployment. It creates unemployment. The competition is tight. That's why some of the some of you no will opt to work for another job. Now, some of you see magamit gapon na pagka-marine but in the other field like in the academe or in the uniform personnel like Navy and Coast Guard ganon. Because the competition is tight, marami na kasi yung graduate. That's why I encourage my students na mga high school students na ako na when you choose a certain program or course, you need to ensure that it's na demanding siya, I mean kanang demand siya this generation at the same time, konti lang yung nag-enroll. Maraming mga program na ganon. Next, population aging causes economic effects, which is true. Instead of having a very young population, what happens when a country has more and more older people? That's population aging. Nainga nga country class like ni Japan o ang Europe, no? Ang Europe o Japan class, daghan kay mga tiguang didto. Gamay ra manggut ang ilahang birth rate dito, ang fertility rate gamay ra, no? Gamay ra ang mga parents nga mga anak. That's why na isa ka country sa una nga nangitag mga Pinay no para magpadaghan og anak. Why are populations aging? Lower fertility. No? Families are having fewer children. Ang pamilya, gusto lang nila, isa lang anak, dua lang ang anak. No? Another, longer life expectancy. Kumbaga padugay mga matay. People live longer because of improvements in medicine, nutrition, and sanitation. No? Unsa kaya ang country sa world no ang taas og life expectancy? Yan. Now, declining mortality. Kumbaga pa, kung longer ang life expectancy, expect declining ang mortality. No, fewer people die at younger ages. And another thing, migration. If younger workers leave a country or region, the remaining population becomes older on average. No? Imagine, nakakasakuan ka sa probinsya, no? Most young adults leave for Manila, Cebu, Davao, or overseas. Mga sila. Kasi naman nabilin sa inyo ha, sa inyong balay, sa inyong probinsya. Yung parents, grandparents, mga older residents, no? So even if the town itself isn't necessarily experiencing huge population growth, its average age increases. And what could be the greater impact on that on our economy? Smaller workforce means fewer working age people are available to fill jobs. Higher healthcare demand. Yes. Older populations generally create demand for medical and long-term care. Pension pressure. Governments need more resources for retirement and social protection. And there is a demand on consumer because business may need to provide more healthcare services, retirement services, and age-friendly housing. No? Imagine a country where the number of retirees increase significantly. Government needs money for pensions, healthcare, social protection, but number of workers paying taxes may not increase at the same rate. So there can be a pressure on public finances. But aging isn't purely negative. Nanong di man siya negative because it introduces the idea of silver economy. Population aging can create demand for healthcare technologies, assistive devices, senior tourism, wellness services, telemedicine, robotics, and AI-assisted healthcare. Where there is a problem, there can also be a market opportunity. If there are more orderly people, business can create products specifically designed for them. So aging can stimulate innovation. By the way, class, a country which has the highest life expectancy in the world, we have Monaco. No? Si Monaco ang pinakataas og life expectancy, 86.7 years. Followed by San Marino, Hong Kong, Japan, South Korea, no? Nasa line of 8 ilang life expectancy. Now, let's proceed to overpopulation and population pressure. Many people think overpopulation means too many people. No? Mabitaw sa overpopulation, mas tao. No. No, but this lesson gives us more explanation, precise explanation. Overpopulation occurs when population exceeds the capacity of its environment, infrastructure, available resources to adequately support the population and desired standard living. Now, population size does not determine whether a place is overpopulated. No, because we need to consider resources, technology, consumption, environment, and infrastructure. Example, no? Ang City A, 5 million people, excellent infrastructure, reliable water, strong economy. City B, 2 million people pero limited water, poor transportation, insufficient housing. Now, kinsa nga country or city ang experience greater population pressure? Of course, City B because it has fewer people. Now, mura ra gud nagasakay og bus, no? Ang bus A 100 passengers. Pero ang bus A, ang iyang maximum capacity 150. Pero ang bus B 50 passengers. Pero ang capacity 30. Kisa man ang overcrowded. Of course, ang bus B. Okay. 50 passengers, unya 30 ra ang pwede. Samantala ang katugayin ang bus A 100 pero ang maximum 150. That means it is not simply about how many people there are. It's about the relationship between people and capacity. That's why we have housing. Population pressure can increase housing prices, informal settlements, and overcrowding. Employment. It can contribute to unemployment, underemployment, informal work. Education and healthcare. More people means greater demand for school, teachers, hospitals, and doctors. And lastly, for environment. Population pressure can intensify waste, pollution, deforestation, and resource depletion. Now, if I will ask you, unsa na ba ang China karon? Overpopulation? How about India overpopulation? I can tell better ang China over India. Mas dakag population ang China. Pila population ni China karon? No? Let me search for a while. Highest population. No? Una is ang, ay, my God, top 5 na ang India. Oh, India 1.47 billion, China 1.41. Yan. Madami na. Ang class kasi mas dako og land area ang China. So China's living condition is way better than India. Kagbuta sa India. There is a population pressure in India. And because of that, no, because Indians wanted to make living also better way living. At the same time, they wanted to have a good opportunities, no. That's why there are more Indian immigrants. Mas dakan ang mga Indian immigrants, no. That you can observe that one in other countries like in Canada, Australia, no. Now, let me share with you, no. In the total countries, no, by number of immigrants, we have US, no. Mas dagan ang US. But in terms of migrating to another country, yan, migrating highest migrants, no. I think it's India. Yeah. Yeah, India. So India is one of the emigrants, the highest emigrants, no? Like pila ka milyon. Kaya nga ma-observe ninyo na may mga everywhere where you go na yung mga Indians, same with Chinese. Dakan pug ano, no? Dakan man pug mga Chinese pud nga ng mga emigrants. Letter E ha, letter E na E tapos migrants, immigrants. Yan. Next. Now, before I will proceed to the next slide, no, let me share with you this one. If population grows faster than housing construction, what will happen? Of course, mas mahal ang pabahay. If population grows faster than the road development, mas mataas ang traffic. If population grows faster than waste management capacity, waste becomes a bigger problem. So the issue is not simply too many people. It's our system, no? Do our systems have enough capacity to support the people? That's a big question, especially in our country. Now, for the last presentation, let's connect population with one of the most basic human needs. It's food. No? Food security, it's a growing population requires sufficient food. Kailangan maginato pagkaon. But food security depends on factors. Agricultural, water availability, climate, food distribution, household income, and technology. Kumbaga pa, having food isn't simply about producing food. Imagine a province produces tons of rice, but the roads are damaged. The food cannot be transported efficiently. Is the food available to everyone? Not necessarily, because food security involves production, distribution, affordability, and access. Now, let's discuss sustainability. A sustainable society has to consider how many people need resources, how are those resources produced, and how are they distributed, how are they consumed. Class, population alone does not explain environmental impact. We also need to consider consumption patterns, technology, in energy sources, industrialization, resource efficiency, and government policies. Now, imagine that's of two countries. Country A has a large population but very efficient public transportation and energy system. Country B has a smaller population but extremely high resource consumption per person. Now, which one necessarily has the greater impact? Environmental impact. We cannot answer that one because based on the population size. We need to examine how resources are utilized. Now, global comparison. No? Different population situations create different concerns. Yan. So, tanawa lang ang presentation, adira ang global comparison. No? So, there is no single population problem that applies to every country. A country with rapid growth asks, how do we provide enough jobs and services? An aging country asks, how do we support older people and maintain the workforce? A country experiencing population declines asks, who will fill the available jobs? A high density city asks, How do we manage housing and infrastructure? And a low density area asks, how do we deliver services to people who are far apart? Now, let's relate this one in the Philippines. Na example, the urbanization drives toward Manila, Central Luzon, Calabarzon, Cebu, Davao. Ano kaya? Because these places offer more jobs, more education, healthcare, transportation, and business opportunities. The Philippines has a relatively young population that can provide a potential workforce. But remember, young population is not equal to automatic economic success because we need quality education, skills development, and employment opportunities. At the same time, the proportion of older Filipinos is increasing. Mas daghan ang mga naniguang karon. That means growing needs for healthcare, social protection, and age-friendly services. And when people concentrate in major urban areas, we experience challenges involving transportation, housing, waste management, and infrastructure. Now, let's have in the maritime industry. No? Population dynamics influence the maritime industry too. Number one, more people, more demand for goods. More people, more need more food, fuel, clothing, electronics, construction materials, medicine, and many of these goods require transportation. Seafaring is international labor mobility. Filipino seafarers work internationally. So your profession is part of population movement and global labor. And lastly, Filipino seafarers contribute to the global workforce. And through employment and remittances, Filipino contribute to both their households and broader economy. To sum it up, no, population means how many people live in a particular area. Population dynamics, how population size, structure, distribution, and composition change over time. Population density, how many people occupy given amount of land. Population distribution, where people live. Economic welfare, the economic well-being and quality of life of people. Demographic dividend, the potential economic benefit of having relatively large working age population compared with dependents. Population aging, a growing share of older people in the population. Overpopulation, when population exceeds the capacity of available resources, infrastructure, or environment to adequately support people at a desired standard of living. And lastly, having food security, having a sufficient and accessible food supported by production, resources, distribution, income, and technology. Before we will end, no, I want you to realize, no, if a country has a very young population but very few jobs, can its young population automatically become an economic advantage? Yan. No? Again, population is not simply about numbers. It's about who the people are, where they live, how old they are, how many are working, how many need support, and what resources are available. No? Likewise, aging population is not a simply problem. It creates challenges. It can also create new markets, technology, services, opportunities. Ang overpopulation is not simply daghan kayo og tao. The real question, can the available resources, environment, infrastructure, institutions adequately support the population? Yeah. And that would be all for our discussion this day. Thank you for listening.